Hi everybody, it's Core from Core Astrology. I'm back to do a video on the new moon in Scorpio. It's wonderful to be back here with you all. I will be doing the predictions for all 12 signs and how the new moon will be relating to each one of the 12 zodiac signs. So when is this new moon happening? In Los Angeles, it will be at 8:38 p.m. on Sunday, the 27th of October. In New York, it will be Sunday, the 27th of October at 11:38 p.m. And in London, it will be on the 28th, Monday, the 28th of October at 3:38 p.m. In South Africa at 5:38 p.m. and in Sydney at 2:38 p.m. on Monday, the 28th. So what does a new moon mean? A new moon is a time for us to go more into the yin lifestyle, retreat a little bit from our activities and get some time to reflect and look inwards. Ideally, what we want to do is to listen to our higher self, to our inner voice, any guardian angels and any input they have to us. And if we're very connected to God, also what messages he or she might have for us. And mostly, we can't get those messages or listen to these insights when we're out there actively pursuing something. So the whole idea is have a massage, take a bath, sit alone in the garden, take a walk on the beach. Just do something that's a lot more yin so that you give yourself some time to listen to your inner voice, to hear what dreams has your soul and spirit got and what guidance are they giving you to go forward. And once you've heard all these insights, you can then start making your intentions. You can either write them down, draw them down, speak them out, just be consciously aware of them, and they will help you through the next 29.5-day moon cycle until we get back to the next new moon. So what does the new moon in Scorpio mean? So Scorpio is the sign of really deep emotional depth. As a matter of fact, it can be so deep that a lot of people might think it's their shadow side, or they're too scared to look that deep and they try and kind of avoid it altogether. However, when the new moon, which means both the sun and the moon, are in the sign of Scorpio, it will reflect somewhere in your chart and be very difficult to avoid. So you might as well work with it and make the best of it. So how can you make the best of it? Be okay with doing research about that era in your life on that particular day. Have some time to really think deeply about the issues related to, I'll be discussing them now when I do the 12 signs. And welcome the process of any kind of transformation that comes with that. Because with Scorpio, there's always a sense of transformation. There's a need to detoxify, to eliminate, to get rid of something. Because it's no longer serving you or it's bad energy for you. So we'll look at where exactly this is happening for you in the various signs. So as I go through all the signs, I will be discussing the actual sign, but this relates to your rising sign, which is the immediate effects in your environment that you'll be feeling on this new moon. When your sun is in that sign, it will be relating to how you radiate out into the world, how you shine, how your ego functions out into the world, how you, in a yang positive way, go out there to pursue the events of the day. And if it relates to your moon sign, it's quite the opposite. It's about the reactive, reflective, internalized, emotive experience of this new moon. Okay, folks, well, let's start with the 12 signs. For the Aries people, sun, moon, or rising, for you, this new moon is falling in an area in your life that highlights the resources that you receive from other people. So what are resources that you receive from other people? So if someone's passed away and you're inheriting from them, that's a financial resource. If you need money to buy a house and you don't have money, you can go to the bank, and a bond would be a resource for you from somebody else. You could also go to your marriage partner, to your spouse, and ask them for finances, or you could go to a business partner and ask them for finance. You can also go to a healer and ask for spiritual guidance, which is also a resource. Or you could be playing sports with somebody or making love to somebody, and then somebody else is also a physical resource for you. So we're looking at physical resources, we're looking at emotional, spiritual, and financial resources. And this new moon will be highlighting this to you in your life, saying, where am I receiving my resources from? who or where can I actually eliminate or detox something in my life so that I receive these resources? Is there perhaps some anxiety about it that you could let go of, that is keeping you from asking for resources from somebody else, for instance? And there also seems to be this breakthrough kind of innovative new insightfulness about your self-esteem, which is affecting how you're approaching receiving resources from other people. Now, this all plays into a bigger game of business or marriage partners or best friends highlighting things in your life that are related to outdated structures in your career. Something in your career or how you profess to be in the world, which is why we call it profession or your career, between now and January the 12th, 2020 is coming to an end. There are outdated structures that no longer are serving your career, that you need to let go. And literally at the moment of this new moon, there are slightly irritating, frustrating, or angering factors that come from business partners or marriage partners, which are highlighting that there's certain things in your career that are not working for you as well, because of certain old structures that are in place. And there's a great focus also for you to realize that matters at home and family and your property, let's say you want to buy a property, or let's say you want to landscape your garden, or you're a farmer and you want to plant a crop, that is kind of where you're more drawn to make things in the family life work. Your home, your garden, the farm that you have, property, that is something where you're feeling your future is kind of calling you towards that foundation of making your home function. And there's structures at work that need to be overhauled, but the old structures are still in place till about January 2020, and from there onwards for the rest of 2020 these new structures need to be implemented. If you're trying to resist, then January 12th, 2020 is going to be really hard for you. But if you realize now and you can admit that there's certain structures in your career that aren't working, that need an overhaul, you can start making those changes to become more adapting to the structures and the authorities that are required to keep your career together. So yes, how would you manage, or if you need a bit of reprieve, if you're feeling a bit frustrated with these relationships showing you kind of the things that are outdated in your career that aren't working anymore, is take a bit of time out for yourself. Look after your physical body, nurture your physical body, rest, spend some time alone, and that will help you to kind of create the dreams that you need, that will help you move forward to navigate all of these changes. So then let's look at the Taurians, rising, sun or moon. Where is this happening for you? So for you, this is happening in that area in your life which is related to relationships. And I'm not talking about friendship relationships, I'm talking about one-on-one intimate relationships. So this is a marriage partner, a live-in lover, or a business partner. And here you can take times to set your intentions for what is it that you want in a business partner, in a marriage partner, in a live-in lover, in a best friend. And there will be a sort of this recognition that matters related to your own personal independence and love for freedom will be kind of possibly challenged. You know, how do I stay my individual self that loves a lot of freedom while I'm in a relationship? So that'll be a little bit of a theme for you. The big crunch between Saturn and Pluto for you is happening in January 2020, is happening in an area of your life which relates to belief systems. What are my belief systems? And currently with the Saturn Pluto getting closer and closer there, Pluto is trying to tell you that your belief systems are outdated. And this can be fearful, of course, because if it's a belief system that you've known all your life, it's afraid to let go of that. But the Saturn Pluto is a situation where we can't fight against it, because these planets are moving in the heavens, and when they get together in the sky, they start off a whole new cycle. So you can ask yourself, which of my belief systems are outdated? What in relation to legal matters or foreign matters overseas, or possibly even studies, higher studies like university studies, which ones of those are outdated? And it will be things related to your health, or rather any illnesses received, or matters in your day-to-day routine which are keeping you in this old belief system, which are going to be challenged over this new moon time. So the idea here is to look at what old belief systems are keeping you in a certain day-to-day routine and are possibly not so good for your health. And the focus is on what thought processes, how can you change your thinking, your communication, and your writing and reading, or any contracts, so that you can make these changes. So this will be highlighted and hopefully will give you food for thought while you're writing your intentions for the next month ahead. So now let's look at Gemini rising, sun or moon. Where is this happening for you? So for you, this is happening in an area in your life that relates to your day-to-day routine and any illnesses that might be related to overworking, for instance. It can also relate to matters related to staff that you employ, or if you are employed by somebody. So the frustrations that might be felt during this new moon will come from an area related to your children, or how you are creative and how you creatively express yourself in your life. And there is an outdated system, which is where the Saturn Pluto in your chart is going to be uniting on January the 12th, 2020, which no longer serves you. And this dependence on other people for resources, financial, emotional, spiritual, is no longer serving you. And you'll become aware of this on the new moon with anything related to children, having fun, being a lover, giving of yourself. There's a sense of repetition, or doing something that you've been doing for such a long time that you feel like you need a change, and it's kind of, the expiry date is really, really close. It is very close. It's in January, but you're starting to feel the expiry date is imminent. The idea here is to awaken your self awareness, but also your self-esteem. What is your value about yourself? And that is really what the focus is, because valuing others so much at the expense of yourself so that you get resources from them is really what's being highlighted, because that's no longer working for you. So take out this time, realize that there are breakthrough moments and innovative changes in regards to the spiritual world, or to being isolated or feeling on your own, that will help you in your day-to-day routine and your health, or any matters related to staff, that can help you navigate this letting go of the resources that you're receiving from others, which in a way needs an overhaul, and it needs a big change. Okay, well, let me move on to the next sign. So for the Cancer rising, sun or moon, for you, this new moon is happening in an area of your life which is all about having lots of fun. It's about expressing yourself in a very loving and giving manner. And this could also relate to pregnancy, or children, or your relationship with children, or generally just hanging out in pubs, having fun, or maybe planning a holiday. But the whole idea is it's about your creative expression out in the world, or issues related to lovers or anyone that you're having fun with. So the outdated Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is happening January the 12th, 2020, which relates to a relationship for you in your life that no longer serves you, a relationship where you thought this gave you structure and security, but you're finding out that it's not giving you security. Specifically on the new moon, you'll find that there's things around your home life, your family life, the property that you live in, the land that you're on, that maybe frustrate you or irritate you, or these repairs that you've been doing over and over with your partner in a home, or with your parents in a home. Somehow there's a kind of frustration, and it is taking away from you looking after your own physical health, which is actually really where the energy is at. The energies are saying, let go the relationships that aren't working, and make some time for yourself, to look after yourself, and to have some fun, and to be creative. And yeah, ideally it's matters related to home, the frustrations around home that are going to show this to you. How you can kind of navigate this is to possibly put some focus on your career. I know this sounds strange, but that would be a healing thing to do, because the frustrations of home are kind of making you feel stuck, and you realize these relationships related to home that are outdated. So by actually focusing some energy on your career, that'll make you kind of get out of those concerns. Also, in terms of this energy about your creativity or children, there's a sense that there's an independence required from a group of friends, or that the group of friends need to be more innovative or have like some sort of breakthrough proactive insights, and that this kind of independent maverick energy that comes from groups of people or from friends, or that can also be very exciting, by the way, is what's going to affect how you express yourself in a creative way. Okay, well, let's move on to the Leo and the Leo rising, sun or moon. So for you, this is happening in your area of life that relates to home and family. So there'll be a lot of time and reflection about home life, the actual home that you own, the family, people in your home. You'll be doing research about how do I want to improve my life? What dreams do I have related to home and family life? And there could be arguments that came in terms of any sort of communications from work colleagues or from siblings or neighbors that relate to your day-to-day routine, or even a health situation, or even possibly pets or staff members that are in your life that is sort of feeling a bit aggravated. It almost feels like you've got to repeatedly do something over again, say it again, write it again, communicate it again. And this isn't so good for your health. And by January 12th, 2020, this day-to-day routine that you have, or the pet that you have, or a staff member that you're working with, or an illness that you have, will have reached its expiry date. That kind of structure and support system that you thought is helping you will actually fall by the wayside. There's something that you need to let go of. And there's communications around this from the neighbors or a sibling or work colleagues in terms of writing and contracts, etc., which is being highlighted around this new moon time related to your family and home and where you're living, which is very important for you. So there's definitely changes in your work, sort of unexpected changes where things aren't as regular as they used to be. There's a sense of independence required, breakthrough, innovation at work, which is destabilizing things there a little bit. And it's almost like you need to find a center at home with your family to kind of navigate all these changes in your career. However, it's good to run with the innovative new events that are happening in your career. Okay, well, let me move on to Virgo and Virgo rising, sun or moon. So for you, the new moon is happening in an area of your life that relates to your thinking and thoughts, your communications, your neighbors, and how you express yourself, possibly also relationships with siblings. Exciting situations regarding matters related to overseas or higher learning or studies related to university studies or belief systems are challenging your thought process. There's innovation, freedom-loving, breakthrough kind of events related to your belief system, or these matters related to overseas or any studies that you're doing, which is highlighting this new moon for you so that you can actually reflect on how you're thinking and possibly integrate a little bit of this destabilizing thought processes or belief systems or spiritual insights, or even something that a counselor or a teacher can teach you, which is very innovative and new and proactive and will highlight your own thought processes. So for you, the big changes are happening in your life in January 12, 2020, related to how you creatively express yourself. This can be in a format in your relationships with your children, or any creative project that you have, or the way in which you're a lover or give love to other people. And this is pretty much highlighted during this new moon in relation to your self-worth, which is very much tied up with your own finances. So you might find there's financial difficulties, or you lacking self-worth to express yourself in a certain way, or there's a certain way of you expressing yourself in relation to your self-worth, which is now outdated. And by January the 12th, 2020, this will have reached its sell-by date, and there will be a whole new way of you projecting yourself out into the world and expressing yourself in relation to your self-esteem. So yeah, the idea here is to let go of either children. Maybe they're old enough to, you know, to move out the home, or possibly you can't fall pregnant, and perhaps there's a realization that you can adopt a child. The idea here is more to interact with groups of people and society at large, and do more kind of community work possibly, or hang out with groups of people, as opposed to necessarily being an individual wanting to procreate, having your own children, or having a relationship, an intimate relationship with a lover or a child, when indeed actually your calling is more to do something for the greater good of more people, and have more hopes and dreams that are less subjective to just you, let's say, having a child, or you having a creative idea, or you wanting to express love to just one person. The calling really, because the North Node is an area in your life, is about groups of people, and to move away from the children, or your own self-expression, your own creative ideas, or wanting to seek, you know, having lots of holidays and fun, and actually rather doing something with groups of people and society at large. Okay, well, let's look at Libra next. So for the Librans, this new moon is happening in an area in your life that highlights your self-value, as well as your own money in your bank, your own possessions and ownership of things. There is a change coming your way in terms of how you're receiving resources from other people, financial, emotional, spiritual. And this is being highlighted to you during the new moon. Where and what is it that you can eliminate or let go of in the Scorpionic manner in terms of your own possessions and ownerships and own finances? How can you, for instance, spend less money so that if you're receiving less resources from other people, you can still cope? It's that kind of idea. What monies do you no longer need from other people because you have more self-value and more self-esteem, and your own self is more important to you than actually sacrificing your time to do something for somebody else who's going to pay you? It's that kind of energy. The big changes for Libras are happening for you in January the 12th, 2020 is the crunch time. But between now and then, and leading up to then, there's areas around your home life that need to change. So this could literally be your garden, your land, your property, your family life. There's something that is now coming to an end, which will be outdated and has reached its sell-by date in relationship to the structures relating to home and family life, responsibilities relating to home and family life, farm and land. So this new moon gives you time and opportunity to reflect on your own self-value, to help you make these changes in terms of the changes coming in terms of the money or spiritual or any kind of resources from other people. There's a great interaction with the family and home life. It'll affect all of that. And you might feel that you have a lot of repairs to do around the home, or you're feeling highly frustrated or irritated around things around home and family. And this will just highlight for you that, you know, the time has come that things need to be changing in this area. Yeah, your own physical health, you might have a sense of just feeling a little bit frustrated because Mars is in your sign at the moment, Libras. And for you to actually spend time in relationships with other people will be a good healing way to deal with the frustrations that you might be feeling around the home and family matters. So yeah, the dreams here for the Librans are related to your career and how you profess and who you profess to be out in the world. There's a great draw towards wanting to gain this profession and make all of that happen, but at the same time there's a need for a release at home in the family life or the property or the land that you're in. So by releasing that, you can actually progress to do something that you will be known for in terms of your profession. But there needs to be this kind of change that you're undergoing, and between now and January you're at the tail end of realizing what no longer works, so that by January 2020 you can actually make those changes, and this will be highlighted around the new moon. So for all the sun, moon and rising Scorpios, for you this new moon is happening in an area in your life that very much relates around your physical health and your physical body and your persona and your image and how you look, and you know, kind of checking in with how's my health, what am I looking like, how do people perceive me. New relationships, exciting relationships with people who kind of shake up the status quo, people that are very independent, freedom loving, exciting, innovative, proactive and forward thinking have entered into your life, and you might be reflecting about your own persona and how in relation to these exciting new relationships this is perhaps affecting your persona and how people see you. So that's very much the theme that's going on with you. Also, the outdated thinking mode and contracts and reading and writing and thoughts and worries are kind of reaching their end of the expiry date. The expiration date is the 12th of January 2020, when Saturn and Pluto join up in an area in your chart which kind of tells you that really you need to let go of either a certain neighborhood, a sibling, work colleagues, contracts, or any kind of form of communication or thinking or thought or writing that no longer serves you. There's a sense of wanting to be isolated or alone, you know, being in a hospital or being imprisoned, either in prison or in your own sense of self-imposed imprisonment. There could be relations concerned with thinking and thought and writing and communications with either colleagues or siblings, or contracts that hold secrets, or people want you to hold secrets, and you becoming very aware on this new moon that this isn't serving you anymore, and that these things need to change, but that you can't quite change them as quickly as you want to. And it's almost like you've got to do these repeated efforts to hopefully change them, but the real change will really only come in January 2020 when these planets combine. For you to get perhaps a bit of reprieve or feel like a bit of release or healing related to this sense of feeling isolated or wanting to be alone, so that you can connect with imagination or with God or spirit. Possibly what you could do is maybe engage with either animals or with staff, or just in your day-to-day routine, or even matters related to any illness that you have. Kind of look at your day-to-day routine and how you can improve on these matters. Your goal really ultimately is to let go of the thought processes or thinking or the neighborhood or a sibling or something that's not serving you, and opening yourself up to higher teachings and new belief systems, which could involve travel or studying further, doing university degrees, that kind of stuff. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the Sagittarius rising sign, sun or moon. So for you, this is happening in an area which relates to you kind of withdrawing from the outside world, where you want to be isolated and alone. This could be you painting alone in an imaginative environment. This could be you in bed sleeping all day. This could be you alone taking walks. The whole idea is that you're feeling like you need to be isolated, kind of hidden from the masses, withdrawn somewhere. This could be in a spa or a retreat area somewhere. It can also bring up certain possible secrets that are in your life. And it's very much highlighting that there's changes in any sort of disease or illness that you have, or any relationships with the staff member that you have, or a pet, that are activating this need for you to realize that you need to kind of shake up things when you are isolated in an environment where you want to be imaginative or connect to God. There's a sense that there's an independence required from your day-to-day routine or your pets or any staff members that you employ. And the big change for you, for the Sagittarians, is coming in letting go of old fears and paranoias about your own self-worth. You might have held on to a certain belief system up until recently, but in the last year or two, it's started to fall apart. And by January the 12th, 2020, this false or old, outdated belief that your self-worth and the possessions that you have are giving you security will fall away completely. There's kind of a new way for you to receive resources from other people that your soul wants to grow to do this in a new way. Yeah, I hope that kind of makes sense to you. How you might come to feel this is that you might feel the frustrations with working with society at large, that if you are earning an income from society at large and you feel very frustrated at this time, or there's kind of buttons that they're pushing, they might just be reminding you that you really can earn money in a different way and have a different sense of self-esteem and self-value, that you don't need to sacrifice yourself to receive resources from other people, that you can actually have a new self-worth and with that receive resources from other people in a new way. And that will be highlighted on this new moon. So for all the Capricorn, rising, sun or moon, for you this is happening, this new moon is happening in an area in your life where you'll be focusing on large groups of people or friends on a whole, but mostly, in society, groups of people, possibly also your hopes and dreams, looking at them and saying, what are my hopes and dreams for the future? Also, how and where can I earn an income? That is also very much on the cards for the Capricorns. There's been recent changes in terms of your creativity and your creative expression that is demanding more independence and also insecurity because it's very changeable. The planet Uranus is about breakthroughs and innovation. So the status quo of what used to work is now being rattled a little bit, and it has an effect on the groups of people in society at large that you'll be working with. And this will come to your attention while you are setting new intentions for the next month for this new moon cycle. Ideally, there are things in your own character and in your physical being and your body, perhaps specifically your teeth and bones and your skin, that are not giving you the security, this feeling of security that they have been for the last 33 years. This is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is happening in your sign, and this is happening on January the 12th in 2020. There will be something about your persona. It could, just be teeth work that needs to be done, but I think it is a lot deeper than that. Yes, teeth are a structure. Yes, bones are a structure in our body, but also the psychological sense of being a structured human being and feeling that there's a sense of security in discipline and hard work and how you do things is kind of going to come to an end by January the 12th, 2020, and there's going to be a whole new change and an overhaul in yourself so that you can actually let relationships become more important in your life as opposed to just focusing on you and your structures and responsibilities and authority that you have, rather give that kind of energy towards relationships that you're having with other people. Matters around work can be highlighting this. Work can be highlighting that having relationships with others is possibly more important than being so responsible and self-responsible and disciplined and hard-working. It's kind of like ease up already, have relationships with people, like don't self-sacrifice yourselves for all these responsibilities and authorities and disciplines and promises that you've made to other people. It's time to kind of let go of those a little bit so that you can have more time to actually have relationships with other people. So for the Aquarius rising sun or moon, for you, the new moon is falling in an area that relates to your career and to your success in the world and what you profess to be in terms of your success in life. Is your profession a professional one, or is your profession to be at home and be a mother? Anything that you believe is your profession is the focus of this new moon. Where can you set new intentions in terms of what your profession will be? And there's things around your home life that have been shook up. Uranus is in an area in your chart which shows there's a lot of movement, moving homes, moving countries, moving families, a sense of independence, innovation, newness, and excitement around home life is affecting you. And how does that reflect on your career life and where you want to be in your life? So for you, the Aquarius sun rising or ascendant people, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is happening in an area in your life which is kind of a hidden area in your life where you keep secrets. It's where you like to be isolated and alone, but it's also a time where when you're alone you connect to God. And there's something for you Aquarians in that says let go of certain secrets, let go of this need for isolation, let go of a certain God that you're possibly praying to, make space maybe for a new one, or reactivate the connection you have to angels or spirits or God in a new way that is more innovative and progressive. And there's a sense that having given service to, let's say, God or the collective or the greater is coming to an end, and now there's a sense of wanting to be of service for others in a more kind of one-on-one, more personal manner. Yeah, things that might activate that a little bit for you would be belief systems or matters around travel could activate that there's people who are either counselors in your life or teachers, or maybe something to do with you studying at a university degree level that will be activating this sense of you wanting to be isolated and alone or connecting to God or the collective, which is now becoming outdated. And this interaction with somebody who's either a foreigner or somebody from overseas or a legal matter will kind of say that there's a new way for you to create a day-to-day routine which is not quite as isolated as you have known it to be. Okay, and then we're going to end off with Pisces, sun rising or ascendant. So for you, this new moon is happening in an area in your life that is all about travel and overseas and foreign. It's also related to law as well as higher studies. So religion, philosophy, or any university studies. So if you want to be reflecting about what you want to study, or any overseas trips you want to do, or any belief systems that you have, or any counselors or gurus that you're working with. Recently, since March of this year, Uranus has gone into an area in your life where there's sort of a new independent way of thinking, and there's change in your neighborhood and change in relationships with siblings and co-workers that is exciting and progressive and perhaps a little bit disturbing if you like status quo, but this is about changing that. And this has got to do with matters about overseas and legal matters, or anything spiritual that you want to learn, or any legal matters. How this is affecting you also is that your Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is happening January the 12th, 2020, is happening in an area in your life which is all about your hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams that you've had are suddenly not actually serving you anymore. And by January the 12th, 2020, you're really going to realize that between now and then is kind of crunch time, where things are happening that are activating and showing you this. One of them is coming from an area where you receive resources from other people, so bonds from other people, income from other people, maybe tax related matters are kind of highlighting that the society or the groups of people, that the friends that you've been hanging out with, the environment in terms of the society and groups at large, are no longer serving that purpose of giving you the security that you thought they were. And by January the 12th, 2020, this is going to come to an end. And on this new moon, you're going to find that there's some sort of anxiety or stress or fear related to this transformation of letting go and making these changes so that you can receive your resources in a different way. Ideally, what you want to do is have more fun, be more self-creative, possibly think of having children. That is more on your mind than serving the society and the community that you've been serving for the last 33 years. So I hope that this has helped all of you. If you are interested in astrology, I'll be giving a basic astrology workshop in Johannesburg starting in March next year, the 1st of March, 8th and 15th of March. And then again on the 4th of April, that will be 4 Sundays, 6 hours of lectures and workshopping that we'll be doing at that day. It'll be held in 4 ways, and we'll be doing basic astrology for self-empowerment. So you'll be working with your own chart, and I'll be teaching you the houses, the signs, the aspects, what it all means, how you can all put it together, what a transit is, how life cycles work, and you'll be working with your own chart so that you can understand yourself better in relation to the cosmos and the planetary effects and the magnetic forces that affect us. And it's always lovely to work with those than against them. So being kind of forewarned by understanding the astrological cycles and understanding your chart really can empower you and give you this wisdom about yourself, and it makes life so much easier to interact with if you actually know what's going on. So that is happening in Johannesburg next year, 2020. Also, the end of this year, I'll be having a wrapping up soul collage course in December on the 21st and 22nd, where we'll be wrapping up the year with, on the summer solstice, with a beautiful ceremony of soul collage card making. God bless you all. Namaste. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for listening to my video. Take care. Bye.